This video is brought to you by Kaiser Knives. What's up guys, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. We got the latest battle box. Let's take a look inside. Alright, so the theme this month is going to be tracking. So as is always the case, you got 4 different levels: Basic, Advanced, Pro, and Pro Plus. At the Pro Plus level, you're going to get the knife of the month. So let's start by looking at the basic level. Okay, this is your first item, the S.A.S. Tracking Handbook. One thing I can tell you right off the bat is, having looked at it a bit, it's not just tracking in the woods. There's urban tracking, there's military tracking, you know, there's to give you a picture right there, like thinking about every time you use your ATM, you're providing you are simply providing your location. So it's not just following animals in the woods, it's a broad variety of tracking skills in here, which is cool. And another thing that's really important for tracking books, in my experience, is good photos. And this one has quite a few included, which is a plus. Sometimes it's like these little kind of black and white sketches that are like mildly helpful, but to really see pictures, that makes a huge difference in my experience in learning how to do tracking. So that's the first item. For me, this is probably not going to be a cover-to-cover read, but a resource that I'll kind of, you know, read a section, read a chapter now and again. Second item are the UST Learn and Live tracking cards, and I actually had a set of these before. These I think are decent, especially if you're just getting into tracking. It's got information on the back about the animal and then a picture of its track. The pictures are not as good as if you have a actual picture of a real track on the ground. But I mean, if you just compare like the badger here, get the thing washed out, badger and porcupine, you can see there's definitely a difference. It's going to give you some basic information. I mean, a canine track versus a feline track. You know, the claws most times showing in the canine, most times not showing in the feline. That type of information. So this is something that's, you know, it'd be good to, as an introduction, I think, between this and the S.A.S. book. That'll give you some good foundation for tracking out in the woods. Next up, we have the Animal Tracks casting kit, and basically this is a way to make an impression of a track. So you see a track in the woods, you mix up this, basically it's plaster of Paris. You mix it up, and there's some instructions on it. Pour it into the track, let it set, and then when you take it out, you've got an impression of what the track looks like. I used to do that way back in the day in college all the time. Honestly, it was around dumpsters a lot, because there was like raccoons, possums, skunks that would come to the dumpster when I was in college, and we lived out in kind of the edge of the woods at this dormitory. So anyhow, it's cool to do, and especially if you're going to learn tracking, that's a good way to do it, is to make plaster casts and then just kind of study and analyze them and learn them, how they work. So that's the third item at the basic level. The fourth item at the basic level I think is really cool. So I think Wazoo makes really cool gear. This is the Wazoo survival gear. It's a bracelet, and it's like one of those old school snap bracelets. You can see on the back it's got a design, and then it's got a ruler there, which this is great for tracking, but then also for just, you know, say you're out fishing, at least you start to get a sense of, it's not a huge ruler, but you know, you can use this and then put your finger there and then say, okay, this is a 16-inch bass, or just call it whatever it is. So, and it's like a slap bracelet, so you can put it on your wrist, and now you're out there in the woods, and you've got the ruler. Another thing they include from Wazoo is this, which is a bandana. Always good to have multiple bandanas for multiple uses. And this has all kinds of tracks on it and pretty good pictures. Like that is a, I'll show you here. Like that's a beaver track up there. And actually that's what it really looks like. It's not like sort of like that. That's quite accurate. And then along the edge, focus on what you're actually seeking. What's the overall shape? Is it symmetrical? Are there claws? How many toes? What's the shape of the palm pad? What's the shape of the negative space? And then how are the toes shaped? Is there a separate heel pad? Can you see hair on the track? The questions to ask while you're out tracking. And then, like I said, just having a bandana with you at any time is good. So Wazoo, you guys rock, man. They're always thinking outside the box and new ways of doing things. So that is really cool. Last item at the basic level is this, fire tacks, and these are trail markers. You can use these for a ton of different things, but in particular when you're thinking about tracking, you know, marking out where you've been, you can look back and say, okay, this is where the track has come, so unless the animal or the person, whatever, took a hard right, hard left, whatever, you know, it's probably still in this general direction. It just helps you know where the path has been when you're actually doing tracking. So yeah, information on the back, about that. And that's everything at the basic level, which again is $24.99. So I think you're getting, those are pretty cool items. I think for 25 bucks, I would be happy if I paid 25 bucks and got that in the pack. Okay, up to the advanced level, these are 8x21 binoculars. You can see they're from Barska. Very compact, as you can see. I mean, these things are tiny. Let me show you the little pouch that they come in. So, again, when you're out tracking humans or animals, good to have a set of binoculars, and these are obviously super compact. You just throw that on a belt. Bigger binoculars, you can see farther, obviously. Well, not always, but you know what I'm saying. In general, larger, more powerful binoculars, but they're going to be heavier. So yeah, that's your first item at the advanced level. The other item at the advanced level is this, which is from BattleTech, and BattleTech is BattlBox's company as far as gear, and they call this the dual flagging dispenser, and you can see in there two different types of flagging tape, so kind of a neon orange yellowish, or orange and then a yellow as well. And again, this is like similar to the tacks, is that as you're traveling you can flag things on a tree. If you're doing it in an urban setting, obviously you could do that as well. But yeah, a way to identify a trail. One thing I can tell you about this is I did a video a long time ago using a bright orange bandana. I'll see if I can find the link and put it in I'm sure I can find the link. I'll put it in the description section or at the end of this video. But this is great if you have a debris hut or a natural made shelter in the woods that's not easy to spot. Put a couple pieces of orange tape around your shelter so that if you go off to gather firewood, you don't come back and go, where the heck is my shelter, and spend 20 minutes looking for it. Look for the orange tape. Okay, there it is. So there's lots of ways to use high-vis tape or a bright bandana in the woods, but this is, again, in general for following your line as you're tracking, following the track and seeing where you've been, and then marking the different spots going forward. All right, at the pro level we have this, which is a headlamp from a company called Nightshade. I've never heard of them before. So I'm gonna have to check them out just to show you the different outputs here. So there's your green, there's your normal LED, there's red, there's all your green, red, and your normal white LED on, and then off. And then I think there's a flashing option here somewhere. Let's see if I can figure out, yeah, where it is. So that's a flashing option. Again, I've never seen these, but never seen these before or heard of this company before, but I will I'll check it out. It looks fine. They say the value for this is $44.95, so I don't know if that's MSRP or what it is, but I'll have to test it out and see what I think about it. Seems like a small, lightweight headlamp. Nightshade, I don't know anything about them. It does look pretty evident, yeah. The logo there does glow in the dark, so that's cool. If you get some light on that and then drop it, should be able to see it in the nighttime. The other item at the pro level is this, which is the Survival First Tracking Kit. And let me open this up and show you. So inside you've got a tape measure, a compass, some of this tracking ribbon or tracking tape. Then you've got a notepad, you've got pen. I don't know what's in this thing. I'll have to check this out in a second. They're saying the value for this is $24.95 for this Survival First Tracking Kit. Let's see what's in this little box here. Tiny little flashlight. I don't know if it comes with a, doesn't seem like it comes with a the battery in it, but I will tell you that they give you a 4-pack of, they give you a 4-pack of batteries. See how well this thing works. It's like the size of a lumen top flashlight that I think I have. So there's that. I don't know if there's multiple settings. Looks like it's just one setting, but this also comes, like I said, in the Survival First Tracking Kit. At the Pro Plus level, which is where you're going to get your knife, you get this, which is the Tom Brown Tracker 4. So this is one of the small trackers out there, and I have not reviewed the original Tom Brown tracker. I'd like to do that soon. Tops is putting out one in S35VN, I think, for the anniversary, so I'll check that out at some point. But Kydex, built for scout style carry on the small of your back. You could certainly just carry it, on your hip as well, but that's how I would carry it, on the small of my back here. Cool knife. I mean, if you haven't seen these before, that's what the spine looks like. And it's not a 1/4 inch thick, but it's definitely for a small knife, it's definitely beefy. And good to just have a little knife with you. I kind of like this. Maybe I'll EDC this today or in the near future. So that's at the Pro Plus level, which is where you get the knife of the month. Let me offer you some thoughts on this box. First thing I want to mention is that they give you the rundown of gear on one side, and then they kind of have a scenario where they talk through the gear on the other side of this card, which is cool. I mean, I don't want to read the whole thing. Obviously, it's a lot of text, but it gives you kind of a description and a better understanding of each piece of gear and why they chose to put it in the pack or put it in the box. Overall, I love the concept of this box. There are definitely going to be people who are like, you know, I just want more knives and more flashlights. I love tracking. I think it's a really fun thing. When I teach my wilderness survival seminars, which I do like once or twice a year, I always start off with observation. I start off with an exercise where people have them walk, you know, like say 100 yards together as a group. And then when they get to the other end of that walk, they walk back at 1/4 of the speed in silence, not talking to anybody else. And then I have them observe. And so they just observe so much more when they slow down, when they're not talking, when they're actually really engaging with the natural world. So observation is a huge thing, and tracking is connected to that. If you can observe well and track well, you can start to observe things in the surroundings, which become resources, which become assets to you when you're out in the woods, you know, in a life or death situation, if it's survival or just to enjoy the outdoors more. So conceptually, yes, I like the concept of the box. I think that's cool. My favorite gear, definitely the Wazoo bracelet here, little slap bracelet. This is coated in rubber as well, so it's not just, you know, like a cheap plastic like those 80s slap bracelets. I love the Wazoo bandana as well. I just like their gear. I just think they're super innovative, and I don't know if I've said this, but I haven't used this tracker or the full-size tracker ever. I've seen them at a lot of shows. I haven't reviewed one yet, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like to test out that little knife. The other gear, I'm not familiar with all the brands. I can tell you that the Nightshade headlamp, they're saying the value was $45. I mean, if I'm going to spend 20 bucks or more, I'm probably going to go with Princeton Tech for a headlamp. If I've got $150, I might get something else. But I would have gone with Princeton Tech. If you're going to spend 40 bucks, they make a really good headlamp for 40 bucks. And then there's obviously other companies, Olight and Phoenix makes different lights as well. There is a little bit of repetition as far as the battle tack, the 2 different colors of tape, and then the survival, I forget what it's called again, but the survival pack, the tracking pack from the survival company that was in that little black box. So there's kind of some overlap in this one, so I'd like to see a little bit more diversity in the products. Binoculars, good company. I've had 4 or 5 different pairs from them, and they make good binoculars. Yeah, so I mean, hit and miss on all the products, and I think that's kind of true across all the BattlBox boxes. Sometimes you get one, you're like, man, I really like, out of these 15 products, I like 12, and other times you're like, out of these 10 products, I like 4. So that's the nature of a subscription box. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts and your comments on the gear that was included, value versus use. Do you like the concept of the tracking box? We can get the discussion started in the comment section down below. I want to invite you to subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.